This is QTV News. I am Answana Esonyasi and thanks for joining us. Coming up, visiting Eastern Mediterranean University rector meets President Barrow, offers scholarships to Gambian students. 2 police officers arrested in connection with the murder of a third-year UTG student, Keba Seka. As adverse weather continues to impact our lives, there are new ways to alert communities. We look at one such project. Food safety and hygiene, a major concern in the Gambia. Those are our main headlines. Stay tuned for more on this and other stories. Visiting Eastern Mediterranean University rector offers scholarships to Gambian students as he meets President Barrow. Alusise reports.
President Barrow on Thursday received the visiting rector of the Eastern Mediterranean University in Cyprus, Professor Dr. Osam, at the State House. The rector announced his institution has provided 5 scholarships to the Gambia through the Office of the President, saying his mission is to support Gambian students by offering scholarships and also promote the work of his university. He told reporters that President Barrow has thanked his university for its work, especially in supporting Gambian students there.
I have provided some scholarships for the presidency, and in future we shall have more good Gambian students because Gambia needs good students to be educated and give a positive impact to the country. So we are going to purchase scholarships and bilateral agreements as well, and we shall give our know-how to Gambia. Right now, starting from September, new scholarships will be provided. We have already promised to the presidency, and he has been very happy as well because he has seen that we are serious and we know what Gambian people are like. Going to offer at least 5 scholarships, full scholarships, and these will be decided by the President's office.
The delegation also comprised some Gambian students studying at the university, whom Professor Dr. Osam described as hardworking and successful in their studies. 59 Gambians are currently studying there.
They are really hardworking students, studying very hard. They are very successful, and I searched the history in the university and I saw that there is no incident related to Gambian students. And I checked their records, brilliant students, and I said, we have to go to Gambia in order to promote our university, but supporting the Gambian students as well.
While in the Gambia, the delegation will hold information sessions with potential students and sign bilateral agreements with institutions. The university is a full member of the International Association of Universities, the European University Association, Community of Mediterranean Universities, and the Federation of the Universities of the Islamic World. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alusise.
The Gambia prepares to use drones and early warning systems for pre- and post-flood disaster management. The $1.2 million India-UN funded project was launched by the National Disaster Management Agency. The event was presided over by the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure. Jennifer Sonko tells us more.
The Gambia is located within the drainage basin of the Gambia River and consists of 5 ecoregions. Due to its location, the country is susceptible to hazards such as flash floods, deforestation, windstorms, and other challenges. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change lists the country among the 100 countries most vulnerable to climate change and particularly susceptible to weather-related hazards. The main objective of the project is to contribute to poverty alleviation by reducing flood risks and vulnerabilities, increasing the population's flood disaster resilience. The regions targeted by the project are Upper River Region, Lower River Region, and Banjul. Hydrologist at the Department of Water Resources speaks to us about the vulnerability of Banjul.
With climate change, there is going to be increased sea level rise. And with sea level rise, some studies say even with 1 meter sea level rise, the tendency of Banjul flooding is there.
Agriculture is the main source of livelihood for majority in the Gambia, and according to the NDMA, the constant floods affects the livelihoods of more than 70% of the population anytime the incident occurs.
During the wet season, when we have high flows, like I said, in the months of September and October, we have too much flows, there is flooding, inundation occurs. So farmers suffer in that their rice fields are inundated and the productivity goes down. So all these effects hamper our socio-economic development.
Flooding can have severe consequences on many aspects of our lives, including education, communities, and livelihoods. In 2010, for instance, flash floods affected 35,000 persons, with 2,673 families directly impacted and 35 deaths, representing a very high figure considering the country's population. Dr. Peter Jiba from the Department of Water Resources speaks about the effects of climate change on weather in the Gambia.
Rainfall intensity is going to increase, but the frequency of rainfall is going to decrease. This is what is expected. It is the impact of climate change on weather, and we've seen that temperatures are also rising. You see, from the 70s to date, temperatures are rising very high, and also there is a shift in the start of the rainy season. Now we used to experience late onset of rainy season. You see, there is also a shortening of the duration of the rainy season. These are all impact of climate change on the weather.
The project activities include a review of the current implementation of the DRR in educational curriculum development, mobile apps for hazard mapping in communities, apps development competition for youth programmers, amongst others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Bosonko.
2 police officers have been arrested in connection with the murder of a third-year UTG student, Keba Seka. Among the 2 is a serving police officer, First-Class Constable Lamin Trawale. Alusise tells us more.
In a statement, the police say one of the 2 arrested suspects in connection with the murder of the third-year student of the University of the Gambia is identified as First-Class Constable Lamin Trawale of the Gambia Police Force. The 25-year-old Keba Seka was stabbed with a knife, leading to his death on Tuesday, 7 July 2019, between 22 and 23 hours around Palmarima Hotel within the Kanifing municipality. The principal suspect, Lamin Trawale, according to a police statement, has admitted that he and his colleague, who is also in custody, attempted to search the late Keba Seka, which led to a scuffle. The police PRO will not disclose the identity of the second suspect, saying investigation on the second suspect was ongoing. It was reported in the media that the suspects, who were unidentified at the time, had claimed to be officers of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. However, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency spokesperson Usman Sediba refuted those reports. The initial investigation saw the arrest and subsequent release of 4 suspects when investigation established they were not culpable. The police said Trawale has been charged with murder. He is currently in custody awaiting trial. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
SOS Hammond Minor Technical Senior Secondary School has hosted a graduation and prize-giving ceremony to celebrate 341 students and the accomplishment of 3 years of their senior secondary academic endeavors. QTV's Malik Nyang picks up the rest of the story.
Education plays a vital role in shaping the minds of students to acquire knowledge for future careers and for sustainable development. After 3 years of hard toil by pupils, the graduation and prize-giving ceremony recognized the work they had put in over that time. The principal of SOS, Mr. Samuel Toure, spoke of the importance of the program they had undertaken. He mentioned that since the establishment of the school in 1988, a wide range of courses and programs have been delivered in line with government policies and those of the SOS organization.
Today marks the commencement of a new era in the lives of these graduating students, which is the journey of life after senior secondary school. It is therefore gratifying to note that these students have gone through rigorous academic, social, and moral activities with their teachers, who are always ensure that students are able to pursue higher education and learn professional skills after this stage of their education.
The guest speaker, Mr. Peter Gomez, addressed the students and shared his experience to embolden students and enlighten parents about the value of educating their children.
The students started as children. They are now living as teenagers. They will be in totally different environments with new friends. They will be subject to new peer pressures. As parents, you have to accept that your children may end up a few thousand miles away from home. This will require emotional adjustment for both parent and child.
Mr. Gomez added that students must realize the challenges parents face to educate them and that some of them may need to change their parental management and interactions to avoid adding to what is already a stressful life for parents. The outgoing head girl of SOS, Fatundao, who won first prize in public speaking and second in drama in an inter-school competition this year, imparted some advice to her fellow students on how to be responsible and make a successful life.
My whole piece of advice is that let them be serious with their education, because education is everything. Without education, we wouldn't be someone in life. This education can make you a better person today. It can make you a better person tomorrow. It can make you a better person in the future. So we need to put all our mental effort physically to educate ourselves and know that there is the only way for survival in this nation that we are.
Students were awarded certificates to honor their efforts, while the best students in various subjects were awarded prizes to encourage them and their fellow students. The ceremony also featured entertainers showcasing their talents, and they provided a joyous ceremony for all. Malik Nyang, QTV News.
Food safety and hygiene have become a major concern in the Gambia and should be everyone's priority in making sure the food we buy is fit for consumption. However, the conditions of most places selling food, especially in the street, are far from hygienic, especially in the rainy season. Ajifatu Mbub tells us more.
In a visit to the Food and Safety Authority in Kotu, the importance of food safety was discussed. There are many instances of people getting ill from the food they eat. As such, food hygiene becomes a matter of importance where both vendors and sellers play a significant role. The Food and Safety Authority is mandated by the government to oversee that the food we eat is safe and hygienic. Their responsibilities include regulating and ensuring the food displayed in our markets are safe for people to consume. The Director of Food Safety and Quality Authority, Baidu Dujalo, explains the standards set for vendors to be able to sell in the market.
There's a standard for iodized salt, standard for packaged drinking water, and so on and so forth. There are so many product standards that we also use when we are targeting a particular product. But generally, when you are looking at food, the most important standards maybe that will be of very much interest for you is the hygiene, the food hygiene standard. That is the one that we use to monitor hygiene issues with respect to food that is placed in our markets.
Serekunda Market is the Gambia's biggest and busiest, and all types of food are displayed to attract customers. However, vendors told us that during the rainy season, They are disturbed by the dirty environment, which is unhealthy and prevents some customers coming to the market, thus making it a very uncomfortable atmosphere to sell in. Hadijase, a fish vendor, raised some of the difficulties they are faced with.
The president should help us with the market. Everywhere around here is dirty. I had to use the leftover sand from the guy that was renovating his shop and pour it in the stagnant water for people to be able to pass. We will be going back to the same hustle when the rain comes. We sometimes have to use bleach to wash our legs to prevent skin infections.
Fata Kujabi, a customer, explained her concerns about the market's environment and urges KMC to make sure work is done to address this. She further appeals to the vendors, saying they need to cooperate with KMC and ensure clean surroundings. Kujabi also made great emphasis on customers knowing where to buy their food from.
So what I'm appealing is that let KMC come out and do their work as they're supposed to do. And let the market vendors also try to join hands with the KMC and help them to improve, to make sure that the market is always clean. Because if they themselves are littering the market, how do they expect customers to come and buy? Like I come to you, I want to buy your product, and I come and make the place is mess up. I will not buy your food. I'll just pass, go to somebody whom you know that the place is clean and he's having food which you know that is properly is good. I'll buy from there.
Ajifat Bimbub, QTV News.
And before we end this bulletin of the news, let's take a quick look at our main stories. Visiting Eastern Mediterranean University Rector offers scholarships to Gambian students as he meets President Barrow. 2 police officers have been arrested in connection with the murder of a third-year UTG student, Keba Seka. Among the 2 is a serving police officer, first-class Constable Lamin Trawale. The Gambia prepares to use drones and early warning systems for pre- and post-flood disaster management. The $1.2 million India UN-funded project was launched by the National Disaster Management Agency. The event was presided over by the Vice President, Dr. Aïssatou Touré. Food safety and hygiene have become a major concern in the Gambia and should be everyone's priority in making sure food we buy is fit for consumption. However, the conditions of most places selling food, especially in the street market, are far from hygienic, especially in the rainy season. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Until then, thanks for watching.